Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's available for free on itch.io. And if you want to support the people that made this game and many others, you can go to their Patreon. And, $3 a month. I'm doing that. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, to be continuing with the violence, we kind of hanged in the motel for a little bit before Flynn, the lizard guy, came in and was like, hey, I need to go pee. And I was like, no. And it's like, well, I need to go talk with TJ, because I believe TJ seems like, I'm not going to let you do that. And that ended with a fist fight, and somehow we just absolutely rocked that lizard guy. Woof. And then, we told him, I don't want to see you, guy. You just go away. I hate you. Leave. We all hate you. And he left. And then, what's the deer's name again? We're Chase. Julian? I think Julian. Julian came and picked us up, and we went to the arcade, and I hate his guts because I guess my guy is completely and utterly jealous of Julian. So we killed him, and am currently burying his body along the highway. That last part I was joking. Last thing that happened was we were driving back in his car to someplace. And let me reset. Oop. I have my eyes and the back of the rusty white sedan with eyes and see the back of a rusty white sedan pulled off to the side of the road. Julian's pulling off as well behind the car. The sun's already getting low in the sky. A little bit of a cloud cover rolling in from the west. That's when I realize there's a large coyote standing next to the car, leaned over and looking at the front left wheel. So, what's her name? Also, she's completely naked now. She stands up when our headlights hit her, and she shields her eyes against the light. Janice. I hate Janice. Julian shuts the headlights off. Looks like she's got a flat. TJ wakes up, and I'm a bit disappointed to feel him shift off my shoulder. What's going on? Julian's already hopping out of the car, walking up to the now grinning Janice as she sets her paws on her hips. Well, now, what are you doing out here, Julie? I can hear her loud, obnoxious voice, even with the doors closed. Janice has a flat. Want to go back to sleep until Julian's helped her? TJ shakes his head, shifting himself to open the door and hopping out. I sigh as he leaves, pushing myself across to the seat to jump out as well. Chasing Tobias too. She turns her psychotic grin on us. Yeah, we were having a night out. Anyway, do you need any help? Well, Julian, I actually do. I don't have my own jack. Besides, been missing it for the past 15 years. Ha ha. Julian smiles back warmly. Well, I've got one. Do you have a spare? Yep, I got him back. Hope it's not a flat too. I haven't had to use that thing in a while. Remember, kids, check your spare tire to make sure that it's not a flat and is properly inflated. We'll go ahead and pop the trunk, and we'll see what we got. I'll go get my jack. Julian jogs back to the truck, while TJ and I stand behind Janice's car. Sadly, that's when the old coyote turns her attention on us. Well, how you two been doing this evening? She said she wanted to talk to us and was getting all teary-eyed, but then, we never did get to that part. I'm doing well, thanks. I want to thank you again for doing all of that yard work during your vacation. Seems I'm always out here just needing help. Oh, it's no trouble at all, ma'am. I'm happy to let TJ do the talking, just wanting to get this all over with as soon as possible, so that we can head back to the motel. I squint as Julian's headlights come back on, and he hops out of his truck. Just want to give us a little more light. Janice pops the trunk and lifts it up, revealing a clustered mess inside. She brushes it all aside and lifts the flap, revealing an old, rusty spare tire. She nudges at it, testing the air pressure before lifting it out. Well, it's just a little deflated, but should be enough to get me to Duke's house. Now, who's Duke? I look at... I know he's got a few tires I could probably use. If not, I'll just get him to drive out and buy me a new one. Julian kneels down next to Jan's car, setting up the jack. We stand there in silence for a bit, watching the stag as he works. Speaking of your vacation, it wasn't really a vacation of yours, was it, Chase? My heart sinks a bit as the dumb yote turns her attention towards me. Me? I grunt politely in question. A polite grunt, keeping my gaze on Julian to show Janice that I'm definitely not interested in what she has to say. Politely. Well, that grumpy lizard Flynn was telling me about in the diner a few days back. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, the project. Something about you wanted to document the spooky stuff in town. I tried to think of a way to keep things uninteresting so she doesn't ask any more questions. Sort of. Mainly, I just wanted to find some information on a murder that happened like 100 years ago. Didn't find out much. Oh, Flynn. Oh, Flynn made it sound like one of those ghost documentaries, like I like to watch sometimes. And a few stories for you. Keep my eyes firmly on Julian's paws as he starts to crank the jack. Then he puts his head underneath the car and I kick the jack out, crushing him. Then TJ nudges me. Hey, are there any rules against being a ghost Are there any rules about it being a ghost documentary? I sigh. No, I try to keep it quiet for TJ's sake. Well, it's more of a news piece, so a ghost story wouldn't really work, I don't think. Actually, I've seen segments on the news about ghosts. I don't know if they're serious, but then someone catches something on camera. Sometimes they'll play it. I shrug. Well, even if that's the case, it probably won't get me a very good grade. It's better than no grade at all. TJ smiles encouragingly at me, and I can't help but smile back. He always has a way to cheer me up, no matter how bad of a mood I'm in. That's the spirit. Besides, could just be about the history of it rather than making it seem real, even if it is real. I sigh again. This time, I don't try to cover it up. Janice either doesn't notice or doesn't care. Would you like to hear them? Yeah, let me grab my notepad real quick. I walk over to Julian's truck, listening to Janice as she babbles excitedly to TJ about how scary it is. I try to unzip my bag, but the ledge of the truck bed is too tall, so I have to grab the whole fucking thing and trudge it back over the car. I unzip the side pocket and pull out the notepad and pen. Then I stand up straight and look at Janice expectantly. Cody sits on the ledge of the truck, making the car shift. Julian pauses, eyes wide, as I'm sure he thought the stand was about to topple off the jack. Well, let's see. I can start with what my grandpa told me. Yeah, that works. Actually, that's great, because it happened right here in these very woods. You know, the woods of the desert. Janice gestures on the side of the road at the trees. So my grandpa was taking a walk here with my grandma, and I want to say sometime in the 40s, right after they were married. They're walking along one of these trails in here, and then they were, and as they started hearing the strange sound from the trees, like something scuttering up and down the branches. They kept looking, but couldn't see anything. TJ hugs himself and rubs his arms with his paws. Wow, that's creepy. Yep, that's a right ghost. They heard bushes, ghosts. Oh, and that ain't half of it, Tobias. The thing is, as I kept walking, the sound followed him, and then Janice lowers her voice, desperate in spite of my annoyance. I have to draw a little bit close to hear her next words. They both died. I don't know how we got that story from them, though. They started to hear it talk. Hear what talk? TJ is fully drawn in by Jan's theatrics, as I have to struggle not to roll my eyes. Oh, whatever it was, it started talking down to them. Janice pauses and then grimaces at me, and I make a gesture not to give her anything, staring glassy-eyed at my notepad. What did it say? Well, it said strange things like, "You're here," and "I see you." Though my grandpa said he wasn't even sure if he was talking to them really. He said it just started to laugh. That when he and Grandma, that's when he and Grandma started running. Even then, it followed them. So it seems like there's multiple characters where there's this kind of this disembodied voice going on, like in this game, but then also in not Echo, the Smoke Room, because there's like the main character, and then there's also William, as far as I know, which is spooky. The dancing, laughing women in the mines. He said it sounded like it was rising from the air and landing from tree to tree, following them until they got out. At this point, TJ is just frowning, and I have to force myself to jot down the stupid notes. Well, what was it? Janice shrugs. Dunno. Grandpa told me the story once when he wouldn't go on a family walk in the forest. I asked him why he told me. I asked Grandma too, but she just pretended she couldn't hear me. Thing is, my grandpa's not a liar. That I can promise you. I scribble on the notepad, pretending to write all this down. Oh, he also said it sounded mechanical, kind of like it was coming through a machine or a computer. Maybe it was space aliens. That's weird, because they didn't really have those back then. The moment of silence goes on by as I wait for Janice to go on. Then she doesn't. I look up. So that's it? Oh yeah. Did you actually think they'd actually see something? I shrug. Anything else? Janice thinks. Well, there's this bear up the road named Brian. One time he told me the story about seeing some aliens around here, UFOs and such. This time, I can't stop my eyes from rolling, but again, Janice either doesn't care or ignores it. Said back when he was a teenager, he saw a flying saucer as he was passing by the lake. I didn't even bother to move my pen, but Janice keeps on going. I was listening to this podcast a while back. Them podcasts where they talk things? These radio shows on the internet? Oh yeah, I love listening to those when I work out. Well, there was a paranormal one I listened to. Sorry, it's night, and I've been tired. That really goes in depth in that kind of stuff. And we've all heard a story about gold in a quartz deposit. Yep. Well, Janice lowers her voice, leaning in like she's discovered the best kept secret in the entire world. In the podcast, they were going on about how places with lots of quartz ends up being more haunted. You know why? I don't say anything, so DJ chimes in. Why? Well, the quartz captures stuff from the past, like really emotional, angry stuff, and sometimes when things line up just right, they play it back. Only then they do. It's all twisted up and mixed with other stuff. Makes what you see really awful and horrible looking. But Janice paused again. What? I think there's more to that. I think there's also muscovite. I think there's something with a conscious mind behind all here in Echo. I finally have to breathe in. Has anything happened to you specifically? It's better to have something straight from the source rather than secondhand. Janice finally goes quiet then, eyes flickering down to look at the ground. Julian, meanwhile, has pulled off the tire and is fitting the spear in place. Well, maybe. Grit my teeth. What do you mean? Janice lets out a soft, mirthless chuckle. Let's just say I've seen things I've promised not to tell anyone about Chase. I can't tell if she's joking or not, so I just go along with it. Oh, you order hit on someone? Maybe Chase. You're high on that list right now. Gigi stands there, mortified expression on his face. I look down at my camera bag. Well, I think it might be good to get some footage of the trees in here while there's still a little light. If I'm gonna do the whole ghost story thing, then I better give it a horror movie vibe. Oh, well, that sounds wonderfully spooky. I started towards the tree line, then looked back at TJ. You want to climb along with? Oh! She looks back at Janice and Julian, the latter of which is screwing in the tire. Go on, TJ. I'll give him some company in there, especially after I told you that story. Ha ha. Janice cackles, causing the car to shake again. Besides, I don't mind keeping Julian here company in the meantime, 'cause he's one tall glass of water. Julian grunts as he keeps his focus on the tire. Well, okay. With that, TJ and I cross the ditch into the forest, following the little trail that weaves through the trees. As the darkness of the forest engulfs us, I look back at TJ and see him timidly moving along, looking at the trees nervously. I grin. Are you scared? TJ looks over at me with a start. Oh, he lets out a soft laugh. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I pause, waiting for the lynx to catch up to me. Then I hold out my paw to him. He stares at it for a moment, as if not comprehending what it is. It's a paw. I stubbornly keep it outstretched. No one's gonna see. TJ seems to think for a moment. Then I see the lynx wipe his paw on his pants quickly before reaching out to take mine. I pull TJ along through the forest, glancing up occasionally to see if I can find a patch of sky significant enough for a shot I want. Don't worry, man. I saw something here too. Wait, I saw something in here too? What? TJ's busy looking off into the trees, his ears perked listening. Yep. When I was a kid, I thought I saw a fox hanging from the trees. Oh my gosh, please don't tell me this right now. So wait, is this the same forest we're talking about that had the bird box? I frowned. Listen, what I realized is that sometimes people hallucinate things. I'd rather not talk about it right now. All I'm saying is that there are stories that the stories Janice told us aren't real. And even if they are, those people hallucinated. That's it. Well, sure, but that doesn't mean I won't still freak out if I do see something. I squeeze the lynx's paw in mine, shaking it around a little. Well, you've got me if that happens. Sheh. TJ squeezes back. There's a slight resistance in his grasp, though, as if he's trying to pull back from me while at the same time holding on to me. Chase, have you been feeling all right? I feel mighty fine. I feel fine. I stop on the path, looking up through the patch of dusty sky above me, almost spherical and perfect for a shot that I'm gonna get. Because you seem a little bit off, especially when we're at the family plex. And I know we've all been a little off since that happened. What happened? I mean, I was feeling really, really weird the past few days. Now, past few days, are you talking about at the river or what? I set the bag on the path, unzipping the main compartment and pulling out the camera. Maybe you're feeling the same way that I was? I shrug, turn the camera on. I feel fine, Tej. TJ suddenly places his paw on my arm and gives me a pause. Chase, are you sure? He's looking me directly in the eye, his paw pads warming the fur under and my skin under them, chasing away the chill of everything. In his wide blue eyes that catch my attention, though. They're sincere, kind, and full of love. It's then that I realize that what TJ's trying to tell me. After all this time we spent together, over the week, getting to know each other, talking about our future plans, it's only now that I realize. I stand up straight, facing Lynx more directly, a soft smile on my lips. TJ looks at me, eyes looking over my face, as if searching for something. I lean in and kiss him. It lasts a moment. Our lips meet, mine on his for the first time. I mean, maybe there's inclinations, but I feel like this ain't the time and place. It's only a moment of pure bliss, and I close my eyes to show the lynx just how passionate I am about it. I feel his lips freeze against mine, then suddenly they're gone. I open my eyes in time to see TJ stumbling backwards. One paw flies up to his mouth, and the other stretches out behind himself, as if worried he's going to run into the trees. I guess I surprised him. I smile and follow the cat, reaching out my paws. You alright? I reach out for him. He pushes my paws away. I frown. What? What was that? TJ whispers, but it's a loud sort of whisper, almost deafening in a quiet forest. Kind of like talking like this. Like Homer whispering. What do you mean? I kissed you, TJ. I love you. Dude. Look of pure shock and horror? Question mark? When TJ's face stuns me. What? No, wait, what? What are you talking about? TJ, you're asking really dumb questions right now. We're married. You heard me. I feel myself getting a little irritated. I just bared my soul to him, and now he's acting like I just told him a terrible secret. But you mean like a friend? No, I mean like a boyfriend. A lover. I reach out again, but this time TJ twists away from me, and then starts to back up. Back the way we came from. I follow him. How come? I can see his rapid breathing and his wide eyes. I'm just going to take a quick look up there. Okay, yeah. And then also my face. Like a cornered animal. I feel myself get angrier. What do you mean, how come? Do I need to explain it to you? TJ keeps backing up, and I see what looks like fear in his eyes. I don't understand it at all. He starts to turn around, but I grab his arm. Hey! You flirt with me all fucking week, and you're asking why? Why the fuck are you talking? Wait, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh god, I hate... Like, it's hard to read this. It's hard to read it, even harder to read out loud. Chase, let me go. He tries to pull away weakly, but I yank him forward. So hard, his teeth clack together in front of my face. He gasps. God damn it. You make eyes with me across the table at the diner while we're doing yard work at Jen's house, and you don't get why? Why the hell am I getting so angry? Let me go. TJ's still whispering, but it's getting louder. So, you're just leading me on? I feel my voice break as it rises in volume as well. What is happening? Why am I doing this? Is this a dream? Were you leading me the fuck on, TJ? I see tears brimming in TJ's eyes as he looks away from me like a kid that got caught doing something wrong. Oh god. No wonder the person on the Discord was having the unhappy face or there's some kind of, like, days ain't gonna go well thing. Do I need to tell you again? TJ, I fucking love you. I've known you since I picked you up from college. I've known since I picked you up from college. Listen to me. I pull him closer, but as I do, he lashes out. I see a flash of light, and the next thing I know, TJ's escaped my grasp. My paw is still stuck out in the air as I watch the lynx disappear through the trees. Soon, the sound of his footsteps fade as well, and I'm left alone in the deathly quiet forest. I stare for a long time, listening to nothingness. Maybe waiting for TJ to come back, or for Julian to come up the path to beat me up. But nothing happens. I don't know how long I stand there, but when I look up, I see that the sun is finally set. I numbly lift the camera from my other hand, still holding on to it, like I was when I kissed CJ. Slowly, I'll go over to the bag and kneel down, putting the camera away. That's when I feel the nape of my neck prickle. TJ? Look back, hopefully, but the path is empty. The forest, though. The trees and branches and leaves, the outline of the path, just before it curves out of sight, just 15 feet ahead of me. There's a shape in the trees, the shape of legs, arms, or torso, and maybe a head. The shadowy figure seems to blend into the leaves, almost melting into twilight. I blink hard, but when I open my eyes, I figure it's still there, unmoving, unchanged. That's when I realize that even though I'm holding my breath, I can still hear breathing. It comes from the direction of the shape, even though it doesn't move at all. It looks like a painting. Slowly, I stand up. It doesn't move. I start to walk forward, and that's finally when it changes. It starts to melt back into the trees, but the branches and leaves don't move. It moves through them. Then, as I reach the bend in the path, it fades into nothing. But the breathing continues. I look around finally and see that's gone dark to the point where I can hardly make anything out. Everything that you see is twisted from what it once was. But what is it? It was something once, just like I was. But nothing here is obligated to make sense to you. But what does it want? What does anything here want? The only thing you know for sure is that it's evil. And just like that, I'm running up the rest of the path, feeling as if the branches are crawling at me, trying to pull me back into the forest. And still, the breathing continues just over my shoulder, growing ragged with my own, following me, chasing me. I feel it closing in on me, gasping, taking on a robotic tone, as if something taking their last breath through a phone. And I'm the only one on the other end listening to it. The crackling beneath the hisses out, then rises up into a screech of static and noise, and I break through the trees, landing in a ditch, and jamming 2 fingers in the process as I throw my paws out to catch myself. I don't care, though. I scramble out of the ditch, gasping for breath. I look up, hoping to see TJ, Julian, even Janice, but no one's there. Both cars are gone. And I'm left alone on the road, in the silence and increasing darkness. I walk back to the motel alone. I hope to see Julian's truck in the parking lot when I get there, but it isn't. Instead, there's a typical 2 to 3 cars along with my own. I still have hope that as I make my way to the door, maybe TJ will be in the bathroom taking a shower. Maybe he'll already be asleep. Maybe he'll be awake, and we can just forget what happened. Chat until it's late. Order pizza like we did at Carl's house. But as I press the key into the lock, and it flashes green, I open the door and don't see TJ at all. It's dark and empty. And that's when I finally realize TJ has left me as well. My mind is blank as I walk through the motel room, only then realizing that I left the camera in the forest. I don't care though. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore. I curl up on the bed and cry for a long time. I don't care how loud I am. I'm sure if anyone hears it, they've heard worse. The employee at the front desk probably hears it every week because that's just the way this town is. I fall asleep. When I wake up, I can't move. I don't care though. It doesn't matter anymore. Even though I know better, I open my eyes. Weirdly enough, the motel is as I left it, disheveled with the lights on. Nothing horrible at all, until I hear footsteps at the base of my bed. I brace myself for it, but I keep my eyes open. I don't know why, but it feels like I'm punishing myself for what I did to TJ. I lay on my side, curled up, and waiting as the footsteps make their way around the bed. I don't know what I expect my mind to conjure up. Maybe the demon of the forest, the evil, electric creature that breathed into my ear as I ran from it, jumping from tree to tree behind me. What I didn't expect to see is a small, old kid fox with a button-up shirt and a tie. I watch as he sets a card down on the little table next to the bed. I get a moment to see a silver ring on his finger and the worn black claws. Then he picks up a bottle from the table that isn't there and takes a swig from it. Then he moves over to the closet rod, clothes that I don't recognize hanging from it. He's got a cord of some kind in his paws. He starts to tie it up on the rod while the other end gets tied around his neck. I know what he's doing, and I know I tried to close my eyes, but something seems to hold them open. This is too real. The fox braces himself against the wall, and I see his face clearly. Kind, weary, hopeless. And then he sits, but doesn't completely sit because the cord pulls taut, and he's left with his legs a little loose, slant on the ground. I see his eyes bulge, turning red, and at the same time, those eyes meet mine. I think he sees me. I gasp and sit up from the bed, but he doesn't disappear. He lingers. It's only then he starts to go into convulsions that he begins to fade away. I hug my knees, my back pressed against the headboard of the bed as the fox continues to stare at me, then completely disappears. It was real. It was real. Was. Something different. Something wrong in the air. The sound from the bathroom makes me look over at the closet door. Something's in there. Automatically, I get up. It's like I'm not in control of my body anymore. It's like I'm still in a dream, even though I know I'm not. I get to the door and stand there a little while, listening to the breathing inside, and then I open it. I stand there for a while, staring in. The light from the room pours in the bathroom, but it is enough to show me anything out of the ordinary. I feel it though. There's an energy in here pulling me in. Slowly I step inside, looking around, my heart hammering in my chest. I'm not scared, not anymore. Sort of anticipation, it's the fear, like I've been waiting for this ever since I got to Echo. I don't know if I believe in ghosts now, but I know what's happening here is real. I wait, feeling the cold tiles of the bathroom against the pads of my feet. Not sure how long I stand there in complete silence. Could be anywhere from 1 minute to 10, but that's finally when I get an answer. Close the door. Close the door. I don't hear anything, but I feel it, and I feel it coming from my left. I look, but I don't see anything. This isn't like the other times when I did hear him inside my head. No, the voice inside me is hiding right now, like even he's afraid of this. Still, I sense it, and even though I start to feel that fear again, I reach out for the door. Close it, close it, close the door. For a brief moment, I have a sudden realization of where I am, what I'm doing, and what's happening, but that's not enough to stop me. There's a haze over my mind, over everything, like I'm in a deep, dark dream that I can't wake up from. I think I've lost my mind, or I'm dead. Either way, it doesn't matter anymore. I push the door closed, not fully, letting just a crack of light in so that through the mirror I can see the outline of fur on the left side of my head. As I'm looking at that, I start getting the feeling that it's not me in the mirror. I look shorter, smaller, and something's wrong with my face. I can almost see what it looks like in the corner of my mouth, stretched in a way across my jaw, all the way across the jaw. Just like when I saw in the diner bathroom 5 days ago? I don't know, it feels so long. But it's when I realize the present I feel is coming from this thing in the mirror. We stare at each other for a long time, the fear rising and rising until it's almost overwhelming. My feet won't move, my mind won't reason with what's happening. I'm in a nightmare. This is real. The mirror whispers at me, and I see the grotesque mouth move in raspy, whispering words. Slowly, I move a little close to the mirror, ducking my head down a bit, reaching up to touch my cheek where I see the widened gash of a mouth. The reflection does the same, but when I touch my face, I only feel smooth fur, even as the fingers in the mirror brush against the opening. What's happening? I ask myself, but the reflection responds. What's been happening for eons? what's been supposed to happen to everyone else in this town, but you stopped it. What? Coming back here with your secret almost started it, but now that everyone's about to find out. What are you talking about? This town might actually survive if they find out. Find out what? Bring both paws up to press against the sides of my face, as if to cover up the gaping mouth. You know what? I squint at the reflection, trying to figure out why it looks so familiar. Sydney? There's a raspy, rusty sound, and I see the thing in the mirror shake, its head twitching from side to side, far too fast to be anything of this world. I take a step back. Dread rises in my chest. No, this was supposed to be over. I'm not supposed to be seeing things anymore. I always knew they were wrong. Always knew that what you saw was real. Nothing normal about this. But it's not me seeing things again. That's got me feeling the way I do. No. What secret are you talking about? Again, that raspy sound of rustling leaves, sounding old and forgotten. That's what it feels like I'm talking to. Something old, monolithic, and ancient. You don't need me to tell you. I grasp my shirt, twisting the fabric in my paws, feeling like I might panic, that I might go insane. Already insane. But how is anyone gonna find out? No one knows. You know that's not true. Who was responsible for the cruel joke? I swallow hard. Someone knows. No, that was something else. They don't know. It was a stupid prank on me. To make me look bad. To ruin our vacation. Vacation? That's what I'm on right now. Is that what I'm on right now? That, though, is foolish, and you know it. It was definitely foolish. And you know who it was, and after what you did to him. I see myself pinning the lizard in that parking lot, holding back from pounding his face into nothing. He's going to tell everyone. No. I hear myself whine, feeling like a child, like the small creature in the mirror. Yes, unless... I wait, feeling tears well up in my eyes, knowing that my life is about to change forever. Silence drags on, till I finally break it. What? I can help you keep the secret. I wait for a while longer, but the reflection stays quiet. I get a sense that time is going faster than I perceive it, my legs aching from standing there, rigid on the cold tile floor. Help me? I can tell you what you can do to keep things the way they are. I feel a small ray of hope pierce through the towering cloud of impending doom in my chest. How? There's a dark pause, the moment that marks an in-between, between what was and what's about to become. I know things can't truly stay the way they are. They never do. Another split in my life, just like what happened years ago. Finally, the thing speaks, and I hear exactly what I expect. Do the same to the lizard. I swallow, feeling myself resisting, rejecting the idea. Unless you want them all to know your secret. But how do I know it was him? He sounded like he had no idea what we were doing. He is deceptive, a liar. His entire family has always been. But I can't, if I don't know for sure. Show him the note. You'll see his reaction, the truth. My paw drifts to my pocket, feeling a gentle outline of the folded paper. Who are you? Wrestling leaves again, and I realize that while this might be Sydney, it's something more than Sydney. And it doesn't answer me. We stand there for a long time again. Minutes, hours, I don't know. Why would you help me? This time, the answer is immediate. This town needs secrets. Why? Again, no answer. I stand there for what feels like hours. As I continue to stare at the small, disfigured creature, I get a feeling that's starting to move independent from me. That thought scares me, and I lift my paws. I'm relieved to see the reflection do the same, but as soon as I touch my face, I feel the corner of my mouth stretched up to my ears. The sudden burst of panic, I lunge for the light, switch, and flip it on. I'm stunned as I'm bathed in blinding yellow light, and I have to shut my eyes for a moment before opening them. I see myself in the mirror, as I've always been, staring back blearily. My eyes are bloodshot, and my figure seems to sag with exhaustion. I stand there for a while, feeling my mind cloud up even more as I go over what happened. Then a violent shiver comes over my body, like I'm suffering a high fever. I feel sick. My skin is sensitive, and my joints are sore, and after a moment, I move back to the motel room. I can see that it's light outside through the curtains. How long was I in there? Must have been hours. I don't care, though. Still shivering, I head to the closest bed, sliding on the covers with my clothes and laying my head against the pillow. I realize that this is Jenna's bed, and I can smell her perfume, along with a faint scent of fox musk on the pillow. Where was she again? Can't even remember through the haze in my head. I think that's a good time to call it. I think I fall asleep, but I'm not sure. Yeah, as much as I would like to be like, hey, we're going to continue on, because I thought that was going to be the end of the series, yeah. Woof. End of this Let's Play. So anyways, please comment, because I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest of Epic Grow. And please remember to expand your ammo so help control the pet population. And until next time, let's play me, GamerWolfSix. The Echo. If you want to play this game, itch.io for free. Or if you want to support the people that made this game and others, go to their Patreon, $3 a month. Until next time, thanks, see ya.